Hello there, my name is PolishLynx, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. And what is going on here? We were alone with Yulia in the bus and out of nowhere. People? All of them were wearing pioneer uniforms and they all looked exactly like that pioneer. Nobody said a single word, they just looked silently in my direction. I could not see their faces, clothes, statures. Yeah, but their faces were shrouded in shadows that seemed to appear from nowhere. It was as if instead of the heads that normal people have, they had mini black holes. I started to shiver and my back broke out in goosebumps. Mine too. Yulia squeezed my hand. With an enormous effort, I forced myself to look at her. She was very scared too. If I was alone at that moment, I would have probably fainted. But right now I was responsible for more than only my own life. Who are you? I gritted out with difficulty. The pioneers maintained a terrifying silence. It became hard to breathe. I was gasping for breath, but my brain refused to work on low oxygen, and I lost consciousness for a moment. Who are you? What do you want? I heard Yulia shout just as I regained my senses. A pioneer stood up from the first seat and walked towards us. Hey Semyon, we have decided to both go back home too. Do. A chorus of voices filled the bus. We'll keep you company. I didn't know what to say. This was the strangest situation I had yet experienced in the camp. Neither Yulia nor the city, nor the disappearance of pioneers, nor this strange person standing before me were comparable with this. I asked you a question! Seems like Yulia was still able to speak clearly. Not surprised, in the end she was still, you could say, an extraordinary being. I repeat, we are just going home. His voice sounded frantic. Are we bothering you? Bothering? What do you want from us? Nothing at all. Nothing. I don't believe you. I know there is a reason for you to be doing all this. It's just your imagination, animal. How dare you! Fucking get up and punch him in the face, sir. Right now. Maybe I'm an animal, but what are you? A ghost? A shadow? Maybe. Ghosts have their rights too. You have the right to get the hell out of here! Yulia shouted so loud that my ears rang, but neither the pioneer nor his companions reacted. I guess we'll stay, he said maliciously. But how did you manage this? And all the others? At last I gathered the strength to speak. It's simple, my dear friend. Collective mind. Heard about it? And so? Every one of us wanted to wish you luck simultaneously, that's all. Luck. In person, I would say that's the reason we are here. But what will happen next? Honestly, I have no idea. Get out! Yulia shouted again. Be cool, you. Settle down. You see? He addressed me again. I don't want to hide anything from you. You have a good chance to get out of here now. I don't know exactly why, but your actions broke the cycle. Cycles, to be precise, all our cycles. And there's a chance that we won't have to leave the camp every 7 days and return back on the 8th, waking up in this bath. Then don't return! Just die! It's not that simple. And why shouldn't we have a sense of self-preservation? We should, right? He asked the pioneers. Shoot! I heard their response. So we decided to keep you company. Now either we'll all get out of here together, or we'll all vanish forever together, or start our cycle. All three options suit us. And what if we die because of you? Well, you won't die alone, we'll die with honor. Honor. Or do you think that our lives? He laughed. Well, what we call lives. Lives. Are they not as important as yours? Yulia didn't know how to answer. And don't think that all of us are here. In fact, many more of us didn't fit in, but there were enough tickets for everyone. You. Yulia hissed. It's too late, I suggest you calm down and enjoy the flight. Stewardesses will offer you food and drinks in a couple of minutes. He grinned and went back to his place. Julia jumped up, but I stopped her. Let me go, I'll take him down. No need. What can you do to him? What good will it do? She looked at me in surprise, but sat down. So, what are you suggesting? We don't do anything and just wait? What can we do? I don't know, but we shouldn't be just sitting. I have learned one thing for sure in this camp. Very little is up to me. Actually nothing at all, especially now. Especially here. I have not the slightest idea what to do to drive them out of here, but even if I knew, I am sure that nothing would change. Nothing would affect the final outcome. You may be right, Julia said in a sad voice. We can only wait then. It won't stay long. She put her head on my shoulder. We had been going for such a long time, it seemed like an eternity. The sun had set and night fell. Seconds lasted for hours, minutes for years. The pioneers remained dead silent, and even that one, the arrogant one, didn't try to start a conversation. The silence was louder than any shouts. A quiet clap would be enough to make my eardrums explode. Me and Julia stayed silent too. Everything had been said today, there were no words left. I felt totally empty, my head was as heavy as lead, and it seemed that I was already dead, but God and the devil had just forgotten about me, so I would have to spend the rest of the eternity alone with this silent mass of pioneers. Are they really my colleagues in misfortune? Did they really come to this camp too, spend a week here and then leave? And then do it all over again? Maybe it would be the same for me, as that pioneer said. Anything is possible. Anything is possible now. I heard a quiet snoring from Julia. She'd fallen asleep. All that stress must have been too much for her. Or maybe she uses up all her energy shouting. In that case, I'd better to face the end while sleeping. Now I was absolutely certain that this was the end. It's stupid to cling to hope while standing on the edge of the cliff, surrounded by countless enemies. And even if there was the smallest chance of rescue, you wouldn't really think about it. Maybe it shouldn't be this way, and someone else would have more optimism in my place. I just had to take the last step. Why though? These are not stairs, but an escalator. It will get me to the finish in any case. I closed my eyes and my consciousness left me at once. I fell asleep. I don't know whether it would last for an hour or for eternity. Emptiness is not the best place for thoughts. When there is nothing, the essence of the normal world disappears. In the end, thoughts are a part of it too, just an immaterial one. It is difficult to imagine where existence ends. A person is not supposed to figure it out. Okay, I regained consciousness in complete darkness. To be precise, I regained the ability to perceive myself as a person. There was nothing else, neither around me, nor inside me. It was like I ceased to exist, was erased from the universe, but I wasn't dead. No, it was totally different, as if I had moved from three-dimensional space to one-dimensional, the whole world compressed to the size of one dot. But what about Julia? That dot was me, was everything. I was everything and at the same time was nothing. However, my consciousness, my memories, my soul went into that tiny patch too. I wasn't afraid, maybe because there was no need, or maybe because I still couldn't understand what was happening. All sense of time was lost here. There was simply no such term here. That's why it was impossible to tell how long I had been in that emptiness. Finally, after an hour or a year, I started to hear a quiet voice. I couldn't make out the words, but I was the one it spoke to. Actually, there was no one else. Semyon! Semyon! It's her! Yeah, I replied as if answering a phone. Nice to meet you! The voice sounded very close. We've known each other for a long time, for... Who are you? I am you. Eh? Did I die? No, nothing like this. That voice sounded calm, as if speaking to an old friend. What's happening to me? You have reached the end of your path. What path? You have managed to leave the camp. Yeah, I remember. The Sovyonok pioneer camp. Suddenly I remembered the last 7 days. I remembered how I was living there, together with Yulia. Where is... Yulia? Yeah. She's right here. I looked around, but there was only empty mess around. I didn't see her. You shouldn't see, you should feel. I wasn't tense at all, as if I was recovering from anesthesia. I don't feel anything. You just have to remember. After these words, thousands of pictures, images, smells, thoughts reappeared in my mind. The camp. I was there for real, with Slavia, with Lena, with Alisa, with Uliana, with Masha. And then? But how? I clearly remembered I left it and came back to the real world. And then I met Slavia at the bus stop. No, I met Uliana at the university. No, I met Alisa at the concert. But I had lived with Lena for so many years. No, I had had a completely different life with Masha. How is all that even possible? I remember events of almost 5 lifespans in the smallest of details, but everything happened simultaneously, and I'm sure that it was all real. How? Yeah, all of it really happened to you. But how? You left the camp, not just once. Then you lived your normal life, then you came back and left again. So, was it like I died and was revived? No, you can think that it all happened simultaneously. I don't understand. You don't need to. And who were those other pioneers? They are you too. Huh? The other sides of you. I don't understand. Every person is an endless universe. His own actions determines how life will proceed. Remember those 5 times because those were times you took choices that led you out of the camp. Your other replicas acted differently somewhere. That's it. It's all that simple. For me it wasn't simple. And what is this camp? You can consider it a testing ground. And who are you? I am you, but from long time after. Not time as you see it. I am beyond and above all of you. You can consider me the prime Semyon. So you are the reason for all this? That's not exactly true. Everything did not happen according to my will, but I can control these events. But why? Are you against it? I lost myself in thought, at least as lost as was possible in such an obscure state as mine. I don't know. If you're given an option now, when you know and remember everything, would you really decide to take it back to the start and just forget everything? I don't know. I wasn't ready to answer such a difficult question. Anyway, where's Yulia? She's right here. Anyway, where's Yulia? She's right here. Where? Inside of you. How's that? Yulia is your inner world, your consciousness which had gained a form. I couldn't comprehend his words. You'll need to try to understand. I already said. But I felt that I missed her. Don't be afraid, she will always be with you. I don't think I wanted this exact union just yesterday. The hardest thing is to make inner peace, not peace with an enemy, and you have done it. If you want to love her, you have to learn how to love yourself. Well, that's enough for you. It is time for me to leave. Wait, what will happen to me? You will go back. I didn't understand what was real and what was not, or how many realities there are. Where to? It depends only on you. I don't understand. You have remembered all possible variations of events now. He paused for a long time and I didn't dare to say anything, just so I wouldn't accidentally interrupt him. So you have at least 5 options. Will I remember all this? That's up to you to decide. A trace of emotion appeared in his voice for a moment, maybe joy or maybe dissatisfaction. Farewell. But I could feel that the voice will never speak to me again. Time passed. I tried to say what to do next. If everything is as he said, then I just have to wish. By that time I had completely calmed down, and you could even say cheered up a bit. I was totally sure that I had got out of that enchanted camp. Moreover, a bright future awaited me. I didn't know it. I remembered it. But what should I choose? I closed my eyes and clearly imagined Slavia smiling at me. She was always willing to help me, and never scolded me for anything. It is always calm and safe being with her, and that meeting at the bus stop. I guess I never thought about being with her in real life, but that would be amazing, I'm sure. Throughout so many years, Lena had grown truly precious to me. I actually remember all the time spent with her. I remember our kids, remember times of joy and sorrow, remember everything. It is hard to reject that all. Or Alisa, barely hugging her guitar. It's never boring with her. Maybe that's the life I always dreamed of, simply laid back and fun. Maybe that's the girl I ever wished for, a loyal tomboy. Alisa's image in my thoughts smiled slightly. The grown-up Juliana seemed like a good option too. Of course, back in the camp I didn't treat her as a woman. But now, obviously, she's got her cons. But at the same time there was a sense of magic in her, something attractive. And of course Miko, Masha from that other life. She was truly precious to me. Maybe out there the camp is just a small episode and I might be a completely different person from myself in all the other paths. But that's for the best. New opportunities, possibilities, and that person I love. A person who I seemingly knew my entire life. But it is still sad that I will never see Yulia again. You certainly will. Her voice sounded in my head. What? Where are you? I'm right here, like you said. You knew? No, I understood it only when you came here. Are you okay with it? Won't you miss me? Of course not. I will always be with you. Do you remember your promise? What promise? That you will always be with me. Yeah. Don't ever think to break it. I'll be watching you. I don't know if I will ever speak to her like that again. Maybe one could simply go nuts from that, but right now, I was happy. Alright, I won't forget. Then you just have to make a choice. I felt Yulia disappear, vanishing in the labyrinth of my mind. Well, it's time. I closed my eyes tight and... My eyes were struck by the bright sunlight. Mine were struck by a bright flash of light from the screen. Nothing surprising about it. It is summer after all. It's that strange dream again. Why did I start seeing it so often recently? Maybe there is a reason. Still, why? A pioneer camp, some girls, the camp leader. I had never been to the camp. Maybe you just don't remember. Very funny. But what if? Trust me, I clearly remember everything that has happened to me since I was 3 years old. And before that I was probably at an unconscious age. Even if that is true, all of this is not accidental. Why is it not accidental? There are people who see a black cat in their dreams every night and nothing happens. Did you just made that up? I haven't made up anything. I read about recently. A black cat is one thing, such a detailed dream is something else. I don't see much difference. Okay, then what would you say about that voice? What voice? Don't play the fool. Wasn't planning to. Which told you to make a choice? Well, a voice, so what? There was a reason. But I don't remember anything else. The dream ends here. There. Maybe you forget it when you wake up. Maybe, but what? That means that you actually made a choice. I don't even remember the options. Were there any? There should have been. You don't even try to be serious about the important things, as always. Oh my god, it's so important. There's no point in talking to you. Recently I started to notice that I have something like a split personality. And an inner monologue is certainly a normal phenomenon for any person, but when it turns into a dialogue, well, it is still a long way from being a clinical case, because I talk to myself and not another personality inside my mind. Maybe with my own subconscious. However, that is not important. Oh Oh shit. Alright. I don't know if it is a good moment, but let's end this for the next episode. Maybe I will save, and maybe we can check all the options, what happens then, and we'll see then. Alright. See you in the next episode. Bye.